Hello people, my family, tribe, how are you? Escape the Maze episode or part 25 now. How are you out there? I'm trusting you all well, and like we always say, hanging in there in this battle. And yeah, I trust that you're well out there and you're finding the strength through spirit coming into you to be able to handle what's going on around you. If you're isolated in any way, shape or form, you know, just reach out to spirit, reach out to ancestors, but and try and fill yourself up with the good stuff. And like we say, you know, a lot of us won't be doing this, but a lot will. Just turn off their propaganda. Give yourself a break from it, you know, because it's just ongoing, and then images will come into you and fill your head up, and then you've got the future that they created in your head for you to live out, and that's not necessarily got to be like that. So welcome to all of you, and much love to you on this journey, because it's a tough one, isn't it? So I haven't got really much to do today. I was going to just do a short video. I'm going to do this just off cuff because I've been out and about and haven't really been able to get on. I just want to touch base with everyone out there and just, you know, see how you're doing, and excuse me, and just say hello or just say welcome, you know, and here we go. But the one thing I have done this week is I have got what we were talking about was I've got my birth certificate. I got that back, so I'm going to do a little bit on that today. I had a chat with someone what I'm living with this morning. She's really far into her journey, but I really learned how my message is with her, and there's a little bit of resistance between the two. So I'm feeling that I'm going to have to modify my message, because you know what we're up against here is a massive it's a massive job to do for us to actually get into people and to help them to see what we can see, you know. So I'm going to try and do my message a little bit slower, just to relay it in plainer language, you know. I had a great victory this week, people. I went round a friend of mine. She's there with her daughter, and her daughter said to me, she's at college, they want to test, they want to later on, you know, put the nasty stuff in, and she's not doing it. And I said to her, "This is such great news. You've just saved your life, you know. We can speak all the words that we can speak in front of this camera and be together on this camera and connect. But there's only so much we can do. That people have to save their own lives, and they save their own lives by attaining knowledge, and that knowledge will help them make a conscious decision on what they do." And as a 19-year-old girl sitting in front of me and saying that to me choked me up, to be honest with you, because she's gained the knowledge and she's actually saying no. So little victories for us are fantastic. She's just saved her own life, so she's coming back. So you know, that's great news. So for a lot of us out there, what am I going to do today? So I just want to get this sort of plane of what I'm trying to say about the world and the earth. We're not going to go too far into it, because I have done a little bit on it, but I just want to try and do a little bit of theatrical work, maybe, you know, just to help us inside a little bit. I'm just going to write on here, as I do, the world again, try and alleviate that squeak for everyone, and the earth, okay? So I'm going to reference on this. I'm going to reference on these two. All right, I'm going to put in here again, living, and I'm going to put in here dead. Right. What I'm going to reference on here is the movie The Matrix. All right. Now, if people haven't seen The Matrix, just check it out a little bit. It's science fiction-y. They're going down that path, you know. But similar to what I'm going to try and do here on the breakdown of where we are. With the birth certificate, actually. So when we've been born into or birthed into the world, we're given the birth certificate, aren't we? So if this is the birth certificate. This is my birth certificate. What I've done here, there's a relevant bit of information on here that I want to show you in a bit. But I'm just going to use this just for, let me just get that. Just for what I'm trying to show here on this. Right, okay, let me just put that on there. Right, okay. Right, the birth certificate is me in here. Right, that's me functioning in this dead world. This world is run by Lucifer. If you're not religious out there in any way, shape or form, right, the people in this world, what are running this world, are. And their cult, their master, what they work for is Lucifer, okay? And underneath him you've got Satan and his foot soldiers running amok, right? They're in this dead world, a fictional world, okay? So when I'm referencing the Matrix, when I'm referencing this, you remember when you get plugged in the back of the head and you're in this dead world and it takes you away from the living, that's the illusion. When you're plugged in that movie, that's what this birth certificate is. This birth certificate is you plugged in to that dead world. All right, that's through this. Okay, the birth certificate takes you away from the living and into the dead. So that's you here. This is now you as a product, what they say in that movie, a battery, and that's you running around in here thinking that everything is real in here because everyone else is doing the same thing. They all think that this is real. So they all feed on each other. They're all crabs in a pot pulling each other back, you know. So all your work and everything, this is all deceit, this is all deception. This is to take your energy away and keep you unconscious so that you can be recycled after you lose your physicality, when you die, your physical body die. So this is to keep you unconscious in here, right, where everything applies to you, to beg, apply, in this realm, in Lucifer, Satanist realm. That's to keep you in there. And you forget about this earth, your living earth, spirit world, spirit on the earth in physicality, because you're obviously been born into this. I will do a lot more on this birth certificate later, but I've covered it up, right, because it's not relevant at the moment, but I will do that a bit later on with this name. But on this birth certificate, I don't know whether you can see this. I'll put it up to the camera, right? Let me just see whether you can get that. Just whether zoom in or whatever. It says here, Father, right? Qualifications, Father. And above that, informant, okay? Informant, Father. My father on this earthly realm informed on me when I was born to go into the dead world, right? We've all done it to each other. All of us, all fathers have done that in this dead world, okay? Right, so the informant done that. I was informed on. So therefore I came into this because what else would I do as a baby, as a young star? So the informant's on the birth certificate of all of us doing this to each other. So when you're in here and you've done the work in here, then one of the biggest control mechanisms in this place, in this Luciferian satanic dead world, where we've all been taken to, plugged in to, one of the biggest fears of control, one of the biggest fears and one of the biggest controlling factors in this dead world is the fear of death. Okay? It's one of the biggest controlling factors in there because you've only got so long here, right? And in this world here, you'll have so many attachments. What you've got in this world, i.e., you want to spend as long as you can with your children, your grandchildren. You want to, you've got houses in here. You've got everything in here. What you've functioned all your life, So the fear of death comes into this, and this has always made me wonder quite a lot. Is that in here, it's about quantity of time, how long you can live for. You don't care how you live. It's just about surviving and getting the longest amount of time in this world as you can. And if you haven't come back to spirit, in this world, you'll fear death because for a lot of people, there's nothing beyond that. You know, there's nothing, where do you go? You just die and there's just darkness and blackness and that's it. You're gone, you know. So the fear of death will apply to them and they'll try and accumulate as many days as what they can here, regardless of the situation. It's just about how many they can get and how long they can go for, and you get a badge of honour for that. In here, when you're born here, it's not about how long you live for, because you live forever. When you go to spirit and you know this, you're an eternal being, you're immortal, you're energy, you know, so you just transmute into other energies, and then, you know, when it's your time to come back in, you come back in if that's what you want to do. There's a difference between what it is now, but to live here is the quality of life, what you want to live, not the quantity of life. You're not in here, you can't be scared of or have any fear of death, because there's no fear, because you've done your work and you know that you're spirit. And you know that there's other realms after this that you are going to go into, and you know already because you've done the work in Dream World. So you have absolutely no fear. So this is one of the differences of fear of death in the dead world, where you accumulate, or wherever the quality of your life is utmost to you in here. So this is just a point that I wanted to bring up about the fear of death and the control mechanisms on that. Because if you've been made scared, then you are more easy to manipulate in whatever boogeyman comes your way again, because you're frightened of dying. But the people who have done the work, what have come over to the living, are not. They're not. The only thing what really hurts us is to see this through jurisdiction, is to see what's happening because of this, because of the fear of death. But we look at this as death. This is already dead. So we'll do anything that we can to get as many out of here, because it breaks our hearts to see this going on in this satanic world, this Luciferian world, of people that are so frightened of death, they won't live a day in their lives. They won't, because they'll just be, you know, it's like a joystick going around and they're functioning and told what to do, how to do it by forces that want to suck all the life force energy out of them and reuse them again. So when we're over here, we're living people, we want the best for people, we want them to come over to the here. And this goes on to what I'm saying with the journey of the birth certificate and all of this type of stuff, because, you know, you have to take that plug out yourself. I can't come up to you when you're in the illusion of this world and in fear of everything, of losing all your attachments, all your attainment in this world. I can't come up and unplug you. I can't do that. You have to come to the conclusion of what this is for yourself. Like my friend's daughter, she's 19, she's now figuring it out. She's unplugging. She's seeing this for what it is. And she'd rather go through the trauma of admitting to herself that the life that she's led's been a lie, to come back to this one. Well, this is really difficult to do, of course it is, because there's no bridge between this and this anymore. You know, everything has been pushed into this. Spirit here is in here, is a product, right? Plugged in, birth certificate. So there's no... How do you get from here when you wake up to here, right? There's no bridge here. So this is where we got taken that way, step after step after step after step after step, and arrived here, right? Well, that's going to take us steps to get back here, isn't it? To leap from here to here is pretty big, you know, that's pretty big for people. So what we're going to get into, what I want to say about this is that you don't need to fight this. right? You don't need to fight this. They've got all the tools in here. They're lock and loaded. We've done it all for them. Okay, so everyone was still plugged in here is going to fight for here. They're going to fight for that if they're still plugged in. If you pulled that out, they've done their journey to come back here, whatever way they've done it, but they're not going to fight for that anymore. So if people in here are fighting for their jobs and they're fighting for their houses and they're fighting to pay their mortgages and they're fighting for this, you're fighting to be in Lucifer's realm. And you're going to get the consequences of that if you're fighting for that. You're spending energy on that to fight for a realm which is, it's unconscious deadness hurting you. So we've got to build this back. We've got to build to spirit comes in, and we've got to go back to the earth. And there's steps to do that, and I'm going to do videos on this. So I don't know whether I really got this right, this video. I don't. Leave some comments underneath if, that would be much appreciated, because then that will help me determine on how I do this. So that will help me. Yeah, okay, you get that bit, you don't get that bit. Okay, I can go back and I can do that. I ain't got all the answers, no one has. But over here, when we've done the work, we have got quite a few of these steps to help people come back in. So that would be really appreciated on the comment section. If you just, there's no ego here. Can you do that, or can you explain that a little bit more? That'd be great for me. Okay. So I'm just saying, birth certificate, plug in. You've got to unplug yourself, and we've got to go back to here. But we have got to create a place here for people to come, and that is Timber Tribe. This is tribal. This is the tribal people, where we don't commerce with each other. We're not in contract with each other. Contract with each other, all right? And we do things with each other through kindness. We help each other out. No one's left behind. So, you have to, everything in here works on your, remember this, right? Really remember this. Everything in here works on your consent, right? It works on your consent. The con has been sent. You've opened the letter, the birth certificate, and you've agreed to it. So everything in here you've agreed to. You don't need to. We need to come back to here, people, all right? But like I say, put some comments in and see what's happening. I've got a funny feeling this is all a bit jumbled up, but I'm going to put it on there, and we'll go from there. But love you, escape the maze. You take it easy, and we've got to start building over here. We've got to start building over here. Nothing in there is for us anymore. It's gone. That is just going to get worse and worse and worse for us. We've got to come back to spirit. We've got to start looking after each other. We've got to start trusting each other. And it's difficult because all of that is gone. In here is honour, integrity, honesty, loyalty. This is this place. This is where we need to come. In here is starvation. In here is getting everyone in their environment to do each other over, to try and climb the ladder or to survive. This is survival. This is abundance. We need to come back to here. Everything that we need is on the earth in here for us. And we've just got to recognise that. And like a beautiful woman said in my comment section on brand new tube, we've got to cut out the middleman. And I really appreciated that comment. So here, earth, everything's here for us. Cut out the middleman and go and get rid of this. We're not going to fight this. We don't fight. Okay. Much, much love from me